Sorry to interject. When you say he doesn't install any winning mentality, it was there last year. So what, in your opinion, has he done differently? Because there has to be a tangible moment where he's taken that away from them. So I understand he inherited a squad. I know they didn't just win the league. I don't like it when people lie about Liverpool and do. He
City away.
A team that was winning.
City away is the moment.
So you think City away, that's just it annihilated every bit of winning mentality in every single player?
Manchester United at home.
It's because football is not all about X's and O's and tactics. Football is also about mental preparation. Slot keeps doing this. I think he needs to use this too. It's very important to use this yourself. I don't know how Gakpo remained on that pitch for as long as he did, as an example. Why didn't you use this and take him off earlier for the guy that saved your job Wednesday with that tackle in the last second? I agree with Rax. I don't identify with the effort I'm seeing right now or the urgency. I think there is a mental issue at Liverpool Football Club right now, which is way bigger than any tactics issue. I think we have a serious lack of belief. And the reason why I point out the City game is we did something that worked against Real Madrid and Aston Villa, and the players felt passionate again, and we saw fight, and we saw hunger, and we saw determination, and we saw a different side of Liverpool that we didn't see for a while. And then we go away to Manchester City, and Slot is like, nope, scrap all that. Let's high press Manchester City. Let's go back to all the reasons why we dropped points earlier on in the season and try it again. It might work. Guess what? It won't work. And from then, I feel like the players lack belief in the system. They lack belief in his words. They lack belief in the style that he wants them to play. Some players fight out there on the football pitch. Some players don't. It's easy to blame, point fingers. You know, I've had this debate for the last 3 days on every Liverpool channel on my own, and had this conversation 500 times. That's why I don't blame Mo as an example. I don't think he's the reason why we concede goals, or the reason why we don't score goals, or he's the main reason, blah, 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 and the main problem. Because it's much bigger than just one guy. And the same goes for Konate as well. Same goes for McAllister. Today, Gravenberch, as an example, caused 2 goals. But people go like, oh, McAllister this, McAllister that. Because people just have their fan favorites, don't actually point out who is legitimately at fault. Because Gravenberch was at fault for 2 goals. And, you know, Ram said we're ahead at 2-0. We're also ahead at 3-2. We had 2 chances to win that game, not only 1. Like, okay, you know, the Konate penalty, mistakes happen. Okay, he tackled Gnonto. Gnonto was very intelligent there. He won the penalty. Fair, it's 2-1. Have a little bit of control. Have a bit of belief in yourself. Pass the ball around a little bit. Be a bit boring for 5 minutes. You know, just pass the ball around. Just keep the ball. Keep a bit of possession. Keep things ticking.
Why didn't your players do that today? Because do you not feel that your players are experienced enough though, and long enough in the tooth to know how to? I don't think the manager isn't shouting, play hot potato, kick it away. He will be telling them to hold on to the ball. Why can't your players do that, in your opinion?
Because they don't have belief, and because they all don't have confidence, and because we don't have any momentum, and they all lack belief in their own abilities. And the part where Rax said like about that element has to do with the manager. I think Slot has messed up a lot of the players' confidence in themselves too. Like, you know, dropping players when you shouldn't have, keeping players on the pitch when you shouldn't have, showing favoritism when you shouldn't have. So many different examples, you know, like we spoke about it before about the whole dropping Ekitike thing. We spoke about it in terms of like taking off Wirtz in moments when he's playing really well, not starting him in games even after he's had a good game, as an example. So many different elements, like where you see these players, they don't have confidence or belief in their own abilities anymore. And you speak like, and the proof for me is how they do for their international teams. How they all perform for the national teams is the biggest proof. Because and people can go like, oh my god, the opposition is weak. Okay, is Leeds strong? No. Is Galatasaray strong? No. Is Eindhoven strong? No. Is Forest strong? No. You get the point. So we can't sit up here and say that they're playing weaker opponents, because they all turn up for their countries. They all play really well, you know, but they don't have that issue, you know. With the only one maybe that had that issue with Sweden is Isak, and then the manager got sacked because of the bad results, because everyone wasn't performing for Sweden. So they ended up sacking John Dahl Thomas. And other than that, all of them have either qualified for the World Cup or been one of the main reasons why their countries qualified, or their country's top goal scorer, or their country's top assister, blah, 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 blah. Same thing for Wirtz as well, by the way. Florian Wirtz, I did a whole watch along Germany Slovakia, and he's out there looking like prime Mesut Ozil with some of the passes and creativity and linking up play, doing some mad shit. You're like, okay, this is the player that we bought from Leverkusen, but none of them have belief in themselves anymore. You're correct. I understand. Of course, Slot is not like, hey guys, lose the ball. Yes, but there are mental preparation elements, and those are the things that are outside the tactics board. Because guess what? You want to say the tactics thing? Slot got his tactics correct today. Slot didn't get his tactics wrong. The team that he started with and the lineup that he came with, we eventually scored through a Leeds error. Now, the other issue with this whole thing are the goals that we scored. Forget the goals that we conceded. The goals that we scored are all through moments of individual brilliance, not intricate play, not triangles, not this, not that. Like Conor Bradley presses the player and then plays an unbelievable pass. Ekitike scores. Rodon makes a mistake. Gravenberg and then the McAllister dummy. So it's all through individual moments. It's nothing really systematic or team effort or blah blah blah. So like that's for me the thing that irritates me about this. And I think they just need a new voice, because this won't change. Next week, same shit. Inter, same shit. Brighton, same thing. It's just going to be same thing. We concede one goal, the team's levels drop. They have no belief, and the mental element for me is the reason why he should go. That in itself is enough of a reason to sack a manager, because you can't sell 20 players. It's simple as that. You ain't going to go in January and sell 10 players and buy 10 new players. It's just not how this works.
Do you think all of it is that they can't, or do you think some of it is that they don't want to? And the reason I ask that is because obviously we talk about it a lot at United when we've been cycling through our managers. We get to the point where the players down tools because they dislike the manager. They don't feel he's the guy and they don't want to play for him. So it's not that they can't, it's that they won't. Do you think there's an element of that? Because I don't know your players enough to be able to say.
Yes,
I think some of them are still playing just because it's natural to them. Like, I'll be straight up today. Like, the reason why we actually scored some goals today and we actually looked pretty good in some areas is because he made two changes. He played Curtis Jones in midfield, who had a brilliant game, progressively passed the ball well, pressed the opposition really well, which is why we probably got two of those goals in the second half and why we came out looking like we had some energy, and kind of kept control of the game in the midfield. Didn't give the ball away stupidly all the time, like McAllister does and Gravenberch does. And Ekitike just looked a threat. Like, he just looked a handful. He had more touches than Isaac. He ran at the opposition. He tried to link up. He came back into midfield. He looked really pissed off when he got taken off, by the way. He looked really pissed off when he got taken off. So,
but this is also, I get what a lot of what you've said, what Sam has said. I get all of this. The one thing for me is that I think Ekitike had a few quiet games recently, but I thought he looked great today. I thought he was really poor for your second goal, Dominic Szoboszlai. But I've said this before about players, and I'll say it again about him. Having a bad moment in a game doesn't mean you didn't play well. Does that make you can have a moment but still have a your goalie can make 10 game-saving saves and then have a bit of a howler. I hate when people go, right, that undoes everything else. I'm not a fan of that in reality. Szoboszlai played quite well all season. Ekitike's been good. Alisson, most of the goals you concede, I never look at him and go, oh, they were really his fault. He's been very, very good as an example. Why are they still performing? Chiesa, you're all screaming for him to get more game time. Why are these guys still playing well, but other than not, if it's a team thing? What's the anomaly? Why are those guys able to stand out and put in good quality performances regularly where the others can't? Like, what's the differentiator from a Liverpool perspective?
Doesn't this remind you of 2 years ago when Chelsea fans used to say, and don't take this too hard, guys, we're just making a comparison here. Doesn't this remind you of 2 years ago when Chelsea fans used to say our best player was Conor Gallagher because of the effort that he puts in? A lot of these conversations, by the way, are very effort-based more than anything else. The reason why no one really blames Szoboszlai a lot of the time is because he puts in 100% effort. So people are like, okay, he's at least working hard. His work rate is very high. Same with Chiesa. Same with the reason why people don't blame Alisson is because no goal is his fault. There's nothing I can't go oh my God, Alisson, you should have saved that third one.
They don't blame him because he's playing well.
That's not effort though. The difference with Szoboszlai is he has moments and stuff, and he has very good moments for us, and he scored the goal today as an example, blah blah blah. But the reason why people don't fault Szoboszlai as an example, but they fault Gravenberg, they fault McAllister, is because they always have effort all the time. That's part of their mantra as players: high work rate players, high energy players. The others aren't. Like Granberg and McAllister, even when we're good, I don't look at them and think of effort and determination and urgency. I think more of like, football related stuff like passing and technique and blah blah blah. So I think that's the massive difference here for me. And like that's part of their abilities as players, and I think that's the key difference for me.
I understand that. A few people in the comments don't get your question, Terry. Well, my question is very simple. Ram come out and said that Jones played well today. Every Liverpool fan who's been on this channel all season has said how good Spaghetti Mafia keeps playing and he should get more game time. I'm wondering why certain players are playing well and putting in the effort and others are not. That tells me maybe not. Maybe you guys are right, and I'm just trying to get more to the.
I would say a few of them. I would say a few of them are trying to play themselves into the first team, and that's probably why. Like, you got your Gapco who just like keeps on doing the same stuff. You got Gravenberch keep on doing the same stuff. Like, they're always going to play. Like, they're slot sons right now.
I think also, like, as the hierarchy of the club, I think they're reluctant to select Slot. I don't think they want to give him as much time as possible. Whether that's the right thing or wrong thing, obviously everybody's going to have their own thresholds. Ultimately, the people who are slot out and the people who are slot in, whoever that may be.
Not many of them now.
It's a question of time, right? Because, like I said, I'd say I've been supportive of the manager up until recently, and now I'm seriously questioning it. But some people have been slot out for 3 months, and some people have been slot out for the last week or whatever, or 2 weeks or whatever. Everyone wants what's best. I understand that the club are reluctant to sack Slot because maybe they also realise maybe they've made mistakes themselves in squad construction and all that kind of stuff. Because these guys, apart from Richard Hughes, everybody else who's in the backroom team has been at Liverpool for a relatively long time, whether they've been left and come back or whether they've been kind of ever present. And they wanted to give him as much time as possible to rectify his mistake. But ultimately, there comes a time when you have to say, this is unacceptable. This is not good enough. And we have to, now is a time to say goodbye. We have to try something else.
Honestly.
And anybody who's of that opinion, I don't think even the people who are supportive of Slot and want to keep him, they can't really argue with that. It's just a personal preference.
Do you think it's an ego thing as well? Like, your owners don't like spending money. Like, they really don't like spending money, even less than ours.
I don't think so.
If they
I don't think it's about spending money. I think the issue is they want to run the club in a certain way. I don't think it's really about spending. They've shown they will spend money if they need to. I think the problem is that the recruitment has been questionable.
But if they sack him after spending that money, they're admitting not only that they made the wrong choices in recruitment, but that they've backed the wrong manager.
Lou, also, there's one thing you need to consider.
That's ego. If that is the case, that would be ego.
If this comes to a point where the manager is jeopardizing the team of Champions League football next season, the owners will be like, I've given you so much money and we're going to jeopardize our income for next season. I'm sorry, no, something has to happen.
I hear that. Question I've got for you guys, just again,
if Chelsea had won today, all the top had won, there might have probably been another conversation to have, because then that's another team that's going.
Well, I think I do agree with you on that. I think other teams always play a part in this. Like, we were talking in one of the groups. But they do. And had Man United won 2 games recently, we should have done. If our manager hadn't absolutely ruined it, if we were ahead of you, and then the top 4 were clear away from you. And suddenly, then it's, hang on a minute, we're getting a cut adrift away from Champions League positions. We're getting cut adrift away from that plays a part. But because United haven't kicked on like people wanted, because Chelsea have fallen back a little bit, because everyone else in that kind of 5th place to sort of 13th place keeps winning and then losing and then drawing, then winning, losing, drawing, it kind of keeps him alive a little bit. It keeps you.
The issue is getting top 4 doesn't help things
either, does he?
Because we didn't spend 400 million to get top 4, so that in itself. That notion in itself is a losing notion, because we didn't. The point that, look, Tom Werner came out, FSG, first time in 12-year FSG ownership history, came out and spoke about winning. This ownership has never mentioned winning a day in their life. But he came out and he said, we want to win trophies. I think they realized after last season that actually winning trophies and being at the top it gives you more marketing opportunities and more globalization and more fans and more money and blah, blah, blah. So I think they kind of realized that. And he came out this summer and spoke about winning. And this is the first time he spoke about it. So I think the vision is now different. Like, it's not just about getting top 4. Because if we wanted to get top 4, then why spend that 400 million? We want to get top 4. We could have ran back.
I do understand that. I do understand that, and I don't necessarily think you're wrong, but I think it's more layered than that. Because if, for instance, you are now suddenly 10 points away from even a Champions League position, I think it forces their hand more. Whilst you can still qualify for the Champions League, their view might be right. We can get back into a Champions League position, get back into some form. You can win a cup competition.